Boys and girls, we are going to read this book, The War with Grandpa. This book is going to be our newest book. It's going to be our newest book that we read. We just finished Poppy, okay? And we just finished reading the blurb. I'm gonna put the blurb right here on the screen so you can pause this video. Pause the video so you can read it and you can stay with us, okay? Pause the video now. Okay, so now that we've read the blurb, we are going to see if we can find some important information from the blurb, okay? So if you're just joining us, just watching this video, just started watching this video, you're going to need your reading notebook. So grab your reading notebook. You're going to need to make the table of contents. Okay, this is the same reading notebook that we used for Poppy. See, same reading notebook that we used for Poppy, but we are going to just go to where Poppy is over. Okay, the last thing we did was the important events. So just skip a page and then start your new table of contents. I'm going to put it here so you can pause this video. Okay, I'm going to put this here so you can pause the video now. Okay, now that you've had some time to make your table of contents, now we are going to get going with the blurb. So let's see here. So when we did the blurb last time with Poppy, I told you that when we look at a blurb, it's kind of like looking into a window of a house, right? Or you're looking into a window of a store or a window of a place, right? You walk by a house and you just see the house. You don't really know what's going on inside of the house, right? Or maybe your friends there or whatever. Or you look at a store, you walk next to a store and you just see the outside of the store. That's kind of like this. This is just the outside of the book. You can look at the cover, you can look at the picture, you can look at the back of a book, but it doesn't really tell you very much information. By looking at the title, yes, it tells me there's going to be a war because it's called The War with Grandpa. So I can gain a little bit of information by just looking at the title of a book. I can gain a little bit of information by looking at the pictures of the book. What pictures there are in front of the cover. And of course, I can get lots of information by looking at the blurb. The blurb in the back of the book will help you because it will tell you of some problems that there might be. It'll introduce you to some characters. Okay, go ahead and take off your hood, Lila. It'll introduce you to characters and it'll introduce you to maybe even the setting of the story. So that's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to look at the blurb really, really quickly, and we're going to try to find some very important story elements, okay? So now that we've set up our table of contents, here's what that looks like. We've set up our table of contents, okay? We're using the same journal that we used for Poppy. Just skip a couple pages, and then write your table of contents. Remember, this video is going to be recorded, so you can pause it when you rewatch it. Okay, I'm going to skip a page. I'm going to leave this one blank just in case we run out of space for the table of contents. So I want you to go to this one, the next one. Leave one blank space. And what I want us to do is I want us to label our blurb page, okay? So we're going to label our blurb page. I'm just going to write blurb on top. Blurb. And then I'm going to write the date. Of course, I always write the date on every page I always write the date. So the date is 11/24/2021. 20. And of course, I'm going to label the page number. Just like that. Easy. Very easy. Okay? Yeah, you can turn it over. Yeah. Okay? Very, very easy. You just write the date on one corner, the page number on one corner, and in the middle, you just write blurb. B-L-U-R-B, blurb. Just like this, boys and girls. Very, very easy. Not complicated at all. The date, blurb, and the page number. Okay. Now, I told you that you were going to find different things from the blurb. Can everyone say story elements? Story elements. One more time. Story elements. Story elements. Good. Story elements are the characters, the setting, and the problems of a story. Remember, we've talked about this before. A story cannot exist if it doesn't have characters. A story cannot exist if it doesn't have a setting. A story cannot exist if it does not have problems. A story is not a story without the story elements, okay? And those are the most important story elements: the setting, the characters, and the problems. And of course, the things that happen, like the events, important events. So a story is not a story without those amazing story elements. So we are going to see if we can find the story elements from the blurb and see if we can find, peek into this window into this book. Because remember, authors, who is the author here? Can somebody tell me who the author is? Read it out loud, Lila. No, who's the author? Who wrote this book? Robert? It's at the very top in green letters. Kimmel. There you go. Robert Kimmel Smith wrote this story, okay? Robert Kimmel Smith wrote this story. He's the author of this book. He put this blurb here for a reason, because he wants you to look at this book and he wants to hook you with the blurb. He wants to hook you. He knows that if you go to the library, there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of books. Lots of books, okay? But he wants you to read the blurb to hook you and make you want to read the book. So that's what a blurb is. It's kind of like a window into the book, a window into just a small little peek of what the book is about. And then you get to decide, that seems kind of interesting, or, boring. You know, you get to decide. When you're picking a book in the library, you get to decide, right? You read the blurb, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I'll take it. Or you can decide not to take it. But that's why the authors, that's why Robert Kimmel Smith wrote this blurb to help you. Okay, so we're going to do, now that we have our blurb page set up, okay, I want you to skip a line and I want you to write setting. Skip a line and I want you to write setting. Setting. Okay? The setting. And then I want you to skip another line. No, let's skip 4 lines. 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's skip 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 5th line, I want you to write characters. And then I want you to skip another 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th line, I want you to write problem. Okay? Setting. For those of you in class, look up there. Our first poster says character, setting, problem. Okay? Write that down. If for those of you that are online, your blurb page will look like this. Blurb, setting, skip 4 lines, characters, skip 4 lines, and problem. Okay. Now, just from the blurb, let me read the blurb one more time, okay? And I want you all to start writing down any characters that we hear in the blurb, the setting, and any problem that we might have, okay? Let me read it again. We're gonna read this right here. Peter is thrilled that Grandpa is coming to live with his family. That is until Grandpa moves right into Peter's room, forcing him upstairs. Peter loves his grandpa, but wants his room back. He has no choice but to declare war. With the help of his friends, Peter devises outrageous plans to make Grandpa surrender the room. But Grandpa is tougher than he looks. Rather than give in, Grandpa plans to get even. They used to be such great pals. Has their war gone too far? Has their war gone too far? Okay, so I'll give you, let's see, good 30 seconds, write down what the setting is. Go ahead. What is the setting of the blurb so far? Write it down. And then I'm gonna ask a couple of you to tell me what it is, what you think it is. Write down the setting, write down the setting. Just from looking at the blurb. You can turn your paper over, Mason, and do this with us, okay? Since you don't have your reading notebook. Okay, any ideas? What is the setting? What is the setting, Lila? The room, okay. So whose room? Peter's room, that's part of the setting, okay? So we're gonna write under setting, Peter's room. Just like that. Peter's room is part of the setting in the blurb. Peter's room. Just like this, boys and girls. Peter's room. Setting, Peter's room. Write that down. Peter's room. Okay. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that is mentioned about the setting, Abram? The upstairs, okay. Peter's room, and we're going to write upstairs. Anything else? Mason? The house, okay. So his family's house, okay. Because it said Peter loves his grandpa. Peter is thrilled that grandpa is coming to live with his family. That is until grandpa moves right into Peter's room. Good, Lila. Peter loves his grandpa, but wants his room back. There's the room again. He has no choice but to declare war. With the help of his friends, Peter devises outrageous plans to make grandpa surrender the room. There it is, Lila. But grandpa is tougher than he looks. Rather than giving grandpa plans to get even. Okay, yeah. It says that they're going to come live with his family. It doesn't mention the house, but we know he's going to live in the house. So we can write Peter's house. Peter's house. So you can write, so far for our setting, we have Peter's room, we have Peter's house, and we have the upstairs. Okay, we have the upstairs. Okay, good. Very good. All right, I'm going to show the screen real quick. Pause the video here. So you can copy this down. Pause the video here. Okay, characters. I don't think we needed very much time to talk about the characters of the blurb. So what characters did we read about in the blurb? Landon? Oh, that's easy. Peter. Peter is one of the characters. Anybody else just from the blurb? Uriel? Grandpa. Good. Is there anything else and any other character or characters that the blurb talked about? Brenda? His friends. So we're going to write Peter's friends. Peter's friends. Anything else? Abram? His family. Peter's family. Good job. Yeah, because he said that Grandpa is going to move in with his family, okay? So you're going to write this down here. Under characters, Peter is one of the characters in the blurb. Grandpa, Peter's friends, and Peter's family. Pause the video here so you can write it down. Pause the video here. Okay. Next, the problem. What is the problem so far in this story? What is the problem? What do you think, Brenda? Peter loves his grandpa. Is that a problem? Not yet. Yeah, you said it earlier. You said Peter wants his room back. Okay, but why would he want his room back? Who took his room? Mason? Grandpa what? His grandpa took his room. Okay, so by his grandpa moving in with his family, his grandpa took Peter's room. Woo, that's not good. Okay, we're going to write that down. The problem so far that we've read here in the blurb is that Grandpa took Peter's room. Write that down. In the problem number 1, Grandpa took Peter's room. Period. I'm gonna say that there's another problem. Okay, so far the problem is Grandpa took Peter's room. That's only problem number 1. Problem number 2. What is problem number 2? Abram. Yes. He wants to start a war. Why? Yeah. So Grandpa took his room. Peter, here's the problem, wants his room back. Peter wants his room back and is going to start a war. Okay, let's write that down. This is problem number 2. Peter wants his room back. Wants his room back. And is going to start a war with capital W, capital A, and a couple of exclamation marks. Peter wants his room back and is going to start a war. Okay, so that is problem number 2 that we've read just by reading the blurb. Just by reading the blurb. We haven't even opened this book yet. We haven't even opened this up, but the blurb teaches us, it tells us, it gives us like a snippet, a sneak peek into what's going to happen in the book. Kind of like, I think I mentioned this before, kind of like when you go to the movies and right before the movie that you went to go, that you paid a lot of money to go see, right before that movie, there's commercials, right? Commercials of other movies. Well, those are what we call sneak peeks, trailers. We call them trailers. So that That's kind of what the blurb is. It's kind of like a trailer, a small trailer of what you are going to read about. Okay. Thank you for raising your hand, Lila. What's your question? Where? Start. 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 Okay. Let me show you here if you're watching. So you can pause this video now and copy this down. Pause it now. Okay, good. Very, very good. Boys and girls, I am excited about this book. I wanted to also talk about just really, really quickly of what the genre is of this book. Is this book, does it look like it's going to be a book like the book that we just read, Poppy? No? Yes? No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. I'm getting a lot of no's and yeses. That's okay. This book is also a fiction book. This is a type of fiction book, but it's not like Poppy. In Poppy was fiction, but it's a special kind of fiction that we call a fantasy. Everyone say fantasy. Fantasy. One more time, fantasy. Fantasy. And you know that you are reading a book that is under the genre of fantasy because animals talk, animals act like humans, the owl is a big bully, the mouse is the hero, there's a porcupine, they talk, they have conversations, they walk, they carry flags, they have meetings. But I don't know about you, but I've never seen a family of mice that has emergency meetings. See, all of that is a fantasy. It's under the big umbrella of fiction, but Poppy is a special kind of fiction called fantasy where animals talk and act like humans. This one is also a fiction. The War with Grandpa is also fiction, but it's another special kind of fiction that we call realistic fiction. Okay? This book is under the genre of realistic. Can somebody say genre for me? Genre. One more time. Genre. I just feel so fancy when I say that word. Genre. I'm just gonna go to like a restaurant. They ask me for like, sir, what do you want to eat? I'll take some genre. It just sounds fancy. I don't know, but I wouldn't be using it correctly, of course. But anyways, genre is I think it's like a French word, but it's borrowed from the French. But I could be wrong about that. But genre is the type of book that we are reading. Poppy was fantasy. Of course, it was fiction. And this is also fiction, but it has a special kind of fiction called realistic fiction. Realistic fiction. What do you think is different about fantasy and realistic fiction? What do you think? Like, think of the word realistic. Realistic. What do you think, Brenda? In Poppy, the animals all talk, they all act like humans. What do you think the animals are going to do here? If there are any animals. Think of the word realistic. Let me ask you a question, Brenda. When you go home, do you have any pets? No? Do you have any friends that have pets? You don't have any friends that have pets, like a goldfish, a turtle, nothing? Okay, well, Lila has a turtle. If you and Lila, who? Your cousin has a dog? Okay, good. Okay, let's say you go to your cousin's house and you walk in and his dog is there. You think his dog's gonna look up at you and say like, Hey, Brenda, how you doing? Long time no see. All right, well, I'm going to go take a poopy over here. See you later. Does the dog do that to you? No, because it's not. We're in real world. We're in real life. In the real life, in the real world, dogs do not talk and tell you that they got to go take a poopy, right? They don't say, hey, how you doing? Long time no see. Can I smell your butt? Right? They don't do that. Not in the real world. They don't do that in the real world. So, what do you think the dogs in this realistic book are going to do? You think they're going to talk like humans? No. If I'm not sure if there are any animals in here, but if there are animals in here, I don't think they're going to talk because this is realistic. Realistic fiction means that it's real. It could happen. Okay? It could happen. The things that happen in this book could happen to you. Could happen. Well, they probably happen. Well, you probably have a grandpa that comes and steals your room and then they move you upstairs. No, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. But for the most part, anything that happens in this book, because this book is under the genre of realistic fiction. Okay? Realistic fiction. So, do you think this boy, Peter, do you think he has a family? Yeah, we know. In the blurb, it said he has a family. You think he lives in a house? Okay. Do you think do you think he goes to school? That's what a real boy would do, right? Do you think he wears clothes? You think he eats breakfast, lunch, dinner? Okay, now let me turn it around. Do you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Do you go to school? Do you take showers? Do you brush your teeth? Do you play games? Do you play with your friends? So everything that you've said yes to, he'll probably do too. Peter will probably do too, because this genre is realistic fiction. Realistic. Okay? All right. Well, that is all that I want to talk about today with this book. Next time that we read about, or that we have time to read about the war with Grandpa, we are going to actually start reading the first chapter. So today was just the blurb day. Today is the blurb day. This book is actually 30 points for your AR goal. Okay, 30 points. So boys and girls, if you have not taken your STAR test, please take your STAR test. I sent the link to you through Seesaw. Please make sure you take your STAR test. I know that everyone here already took their STAR test. And I know that yesterday's group, my A group, they all took their STAR test. Now you that are online only, I need you to take your STAR test, okay? That's gonna tell me what your new reading level is. And so I can give you your new goal, okay? All right, boys and girls, thank you so much. I will see you later. If you have any questions, I know I see some hands, but I don't have time to answer those right now. Please message me, send me any questions that you have, and I will see you later. Oh, one more thing, the book. Some of you are wondering, oh, Mr. Campos, when am I gonna get the book? When am I going to get the book? Well, we will set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the book in the office, okay? With your name on it. I'm gonna leave the book in the office. If you don't have a book, I'm gonna leave it in the office so you can come pick it up, okay? You don't have to pick it up today. Pick it up when you can. You can pick it up on Monday, next Monday after Thanksgiving, or next Tuesday after Thanksgiving. But they will be in the office today. I'm gonna go take them over there during my lunch. So please make sure, if you wanna come, pick up a book. That way you can follow along with us. Go to the office today. Go to the office today or after Thanksgiving break. I don't want you to stress your parents out and say, Mom, Dad, Mr. Campos said I have to go pick up my book. No. You don't have to do it today. You can do it next week after Thanksgiving break. Boys and girls, I miss you. I can't wait to see you again. Have a great Thanksgiving. Please, please, please stay home. Wear your mask. if you do have to go outside, wear your mask. Let's try to keep this COVID situation under control. Please wash your hands, social distance. Please, please, please stay home. All right, we will see you later. Have a great day, boys and girls.